And we'll fly, oh, we'll fly away.
Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. I don't do many spoiler talk videos, but I want to do it for each MCU movie. I did a series earlier this year, a marathon of all the MCU movies leading up to Infinity War. So I've got spoiler talks for all those movies in a playlist that I'll probably link. And I want to continue that. I want to keep doing spoiler talk for each MCU movie, and and probably for DC as well, for the upcoming movies, and maybe Godzilla 2 when it comes out. But we shall see what happens. But anyway, I got a spoiler talk for this movie. This, as I said, if you haven't seen my review, I did a vlog and review of it, which you can check out on my channel with Grandad. I reviewed at the end of it, non-spoiler. I thought it was an okay movie. It was quite good. Nothing special, but some parts were likable, and the mid-credit scene was mad as well. So yeah, it's an enjoyable movie, just not that great or anything like that. But basically, there's a device, and this is a lab. The building you see that shrinks in the trailers. They give a lot away in the trailers when you think about it. But in the trailers, there's a building that shrinks. That is a lab, right? And there's a component as well for that lab. And there's three parties. There's Ghost, who's the main villain. There's the heroes, Hank Pym, Hope Van Dyne. What's Antman's name again? Scott Lang. Scott Lang is helping them because they needed to go and help. Because they think that because Scott in the first Hammer movie, he went into another realm and he came back. And in the past, Hope's mum, or Hank's wife, she also got stuck in a quantum realm, and she's been stuck in there forever. And because Scott Lang in the first movie went into a realm and came back, this made Hank think that it's possible that Hope's mom and his wife could still be saved, like she could still be alive in there. So this movie is all about Hank himself going into the quantum realm to go save his wife, more or less, and that's why they need the lab and a component. I'm pretty sure there's a component, I think. And there's a third party as well, right? They're technically villains, but they're not villains. They care about money. They want this lab because they want to sell it. They want to make money off it. And it's not like, it's more business. It's not really a personal thing. And they're not really like, I mean, I think he was about to kill someone near the end. But apart from that, the guy, the leader of those people, of that group, they weren't really villains. Neither was Ghost really. Ghost was just trying to stay alive, but she was willing to kill someone to do it. I'll get to that soon. But the two villain parties were not connected. They weren't really villains. They had motives. One was about staying alive. The other was about money, more or less. It wasn't like, oh, I want to destroy the world. It's nothing like that. But yeah, it felt quite interesting as well though. But yeah, as I said, I didn't like it that much, but it was enjoyable. A lot of things to like about it, and yeah, I just feel like the third party, the businessman who wanted to sell these things, they didn't need to be in the movie. Not in my opinion. I feel like they were like an extra. But yeah, towards the end actually, Louise, Dave and Kurtz, those three misfits, they're a funny squad, and they do something heroic towards the end where they take out the businessmen, take out the villains. They're not really villains, but they take out a businessman, and it's a pretty good scene for them. And just before that, Louise was part of the chase scene at the end in a Hot Wheels car that he unshrunk, of course, enlarged. Yeah, that he enlarged. Basically, they have technology, obviously, like for the Antman suit, where you get to shrink things and make things bigger. And they had a few cars in, like, I think it's Hope Van Dyne. She had a wallet. It wasn't a wallet, it was a little tin, and you open it and there's like 10 cars inside, and you can pick one and enlarge it into a proper sized car. And Louise picked a Hot Wheels car, and he was driving around in it, chasing around, involved in the chase scenes, and at the end, and it was just really cool. Like, it was really funny, and it was just really fun. Like, that whole chase scene at the end, it involved Hope, it involved Scott, it involved the businessman, it involved Louise. All this was happening while Hank Pym was in the quantum realm saving his wife, so just at the same time. So the more serious thing was the quantum realm scenes, but then you get your lighter tones, fast-paced chase scenes on the side of it, and it's just like really awesome to watch. Scott, after Civil War, he's under house arrest. He has 3 days left, and if he leaves his house, then he breaks those rules. And also, if he comes in contact with Hope and Hank, then that deal is off. Then he gets like 20 years in prison. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong. But Hope basically, there's a big ant, right, that's in his house, and Hope somehow finds a way to put his tracker from his leg onto the ant's leg. And she somehow, well, you get to control ants basically. So she somehow gets the ant to act exactly like Scott does. So this amount of time in the toilet, this amount of time watching TV, playing the drums, etc. And while the ant was mimicking Scott's moves, Hope managed to get him out and get him to help him. And yeah, that's basically like how they rope him in to helping them, even though he can't talk to them. But yeah, he like in many parts of the movie, he gets away with stuff. Like he gets sighted or he gets caught, but he always has to run home. And it happened twice. He had to run home and he got back just in time before the FBI got there. And I think those scenes are pretty funny. Right, so her name is Janet, right? Janet Van Dyne. I'm just keep calling her that for now instead of saying Hope's mom or Hank's wife. Janet Van Dyne is the one who's stuck in the quantum realm, and she finds a way to communicate with Hank and Hope basically through Antman, through Scott Lang. Somehow she manages to get into his mind. I don't know how it works, but she can get into his mind to take over his body and communicate with her daughter and husband. And I think that's like, it's pretty weird but also pretty cool. And she also sent a message through Scott's dreams as well, and that was another interesting one. So yeah, it was a weird way to send a message, but it was pretty interesting, that's for sure. So in one scene, I can't remember exactly what the scene, like exactly the exact dialogue, but Hank and Hope and Scott, they needed help from Lawrence Fishburne's character. I can't remember his character's name, but Lawrence Fishburne's character, that's how you pronounce it, asked him for help, and then the FBI came along, but they got away just before they got there. But as it turned out later on, Lawrence Fishburne's character was working with Ghost, the villain, and that was just like, for me, I did not expect that. I did not see that coming. I saw the scene, like, because they tried to break into Ghost's house at one point, because Ghost took the device. She took the building away and she stored it in her home, and the three of them, they went in there to try and get it, and then they got caught, and they're all tied up. And Lawrence Fishburne's character, he just turns up, and you're like, he's working with Ghost. That was like the biggest surprise for me of the movie. That was like probably the only surprise, actually, to be fair. That was like, I did not expect that. That's like the one thing in the movie that I was like, I did not see that coming. Like, what on earth? And yeah, that was a pretty cool reveal. But yeah, they're not in danger for long though. Like, the heroes, they eventually get out. They find a way to get out. But basically, during that time, while the three of them are tied up, Ghost explains to them what happens. Basically, they mention Hank Pym's ego, and Lawrence Fishburne's character used to work with Hank, and their disagreements, and he quit. And also, who was also working with Hank was Ghost's dad, and they also had disagreements too. It's all about Hank's ego, etc. He didn't, their disagreements, arguments, and even after they not separated, but even after they stopped researching together, even after Hank fired him, fired her dad, fired Lawrence Fishburne's character, Ghost's dad continued researching quantum realm stuff, and there was an explosion. Something went wrong, there was an explosion, and it killed her dad, her mum, and it gave her powers, but not in a good way. Basically, it's called, got it written down here, molecular disequilibrium. That's what it's called. Basically, every cell of hers is torn apart and stitched back together constantly on a daily basis. And basically, what that does is it helps her face through anything. She can go through walls, through people, and that's pretty cool. But it's also killing her, and she needs to. Her motivation is to survive. She doesn't want to die, but this thing is constantly killing her cells and it's fixing again, but it's killing her as well. And for her to survive, she needs to drain the life force of Janet Van Dyne, who is stuck in quantum realm, of Hope's mum. She needs to drain the life force to give her a bit more life. And I don't think it's permanent life. I don't think it heals her completely, but I think it helps her last longer. So she wanted to try and kill Janet Van Dyne just to like get energy to help her. And obviously Hank's trying to save his wife as well at the same time. And while all that's happening, there's the third party who wants to take everything and sell it for money as well. So it's a triple threat match. That's what it is. And I thought that was all pretty cool, pretty interesting. Like I'm not a big fan of Ghost. Like I don't think she was a great character, but I understood where she was coming from. Obviously her parents died. She got these powers, and she blames Hank because of what happened beforehand with her dad and Hank. And yeah, you can see where she's coming from, and I like that. I like a compelling villain, but I don't think she was a great character, anything like that. But she wasn't really a villain, as I said before. But it was still pretty interesting. I just, even though I said it wasn't that good, there were some talking points. There were some bits that are likable, and it was one of those things. And yeah, the most likable thing was probably the chase scene at the end. She also explained, by the way, when Hank, Hope, and Scott were tied up, that she worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. as an assassin, and obviously S.H.I.E.L.D. turned out to be Hydra anyway, but well, not all of them, but Hydra was inside S.H.I.E.L.D. the whole time. But anyway, never mind that, let's just ignore that. She was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. as an assassin because they promised her that they will heal her in return, and they lied to her. So she was here the whole time. She was like, throughout the MCU, like she was there, but no one knew. Great logic there, you know. A bit of a plot hole, because surely S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hydra would have found her useful back in Captain America Civil Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like, instead of sending Winter Soldier, you can send a girl that can phase through walls. She could really like be effective for you. But anyway, obviously she was just introduced in this movie, so that makes sense. But still, it's a bit of a plot hole in a way, because she was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. in the past, during the MCU, at the start of the MCU, and she was there the whole time, but it was never mentioned. Anyway, as I said, Hank Pym has gone into the quantum realm to save his wife. Meanwhile, it's the building he's inside is shrunk as well, and the businessman has took it. Antman goes big, it turns into Giant Man. He goes after the businessman. He takes the briefcase back. And then, well, he gets it to shore. Then he falls over into the water. It was in the sea. So it was like it was in the ocean, or a river, or a massive river. I don't know. It was in that water, all right. And basically, when he's Giant Man for too long, he passes out, and he passed out underwater. Hope had to go and save him. She saved him. Didn't take very long, that scene. Like seriously, like this scene and the scene when they were tied up. They got out of these scenes way too quickly. Like seriously, like there should be like they were not in danger for very long. Like the stakes are really not high in this movie, to be honest. But yeah, she saves him pretty quickly. There's the whole chase scene, of course, with Ant-Man, Hope, Luis, and that's an awesome scene. Or awesome scenes, shall I say. Meanwhile, Ghost is going into the lab. She's gone into the lab to try and drain the life force of Janet. Meanwhile, Hank Pym is trying to get out. Lawrence Fishburne's character is trying to stop Ghost from killing her because he thinks there's another way. And well, eventually what happens is Hank and Janet, they get out. He finds her in the quantum realm. They get out. Ghost gets stopped from killing them, and then magic happens. Basically, Janet heals Ghost by touching her. Janet, who's stuck in the quantum realm for decades now, she comes out, she touches Ghost on the face, or on the face. She touches Ghost on the face, like this, and she's healed. Literally, you spend like half the movie thinking like, how's she gonna get healed here? What's gonna happen? Like, is she gonna die or nothing? Nope. She just Janet, the woman who's being saved, comes out. She touches Ghost, and she's healed. Well, what is this? What? It's just like, it's an ex machina thing. It's like, so many things happen, but then at the end, you get this one thing that's never there, and it just turns up and solves everything. That's just what happens here. That's just literally what happens. But Yeah, I have no major issue with it. It's just that it was a little like random when it was a little like too fast, like the way like that's it, that's how you solve it. But yeah, I guess she still had quantum energy within her. I think she had some powers basically, and she was able to heal Ghost, and that was it. I think Ghost and Lawrence Fishburne's character. I keep saying Lawrence Fishburne's character. What is his name? Dr. Bill Foster. That's his name. Dr. Bill Foster and Ghost. I don't know where did they go? Pretty sure they went away somewhere. Like Ghost's gonna run away from him, but he was like, I'm not leaving you, I'm gonna help you basically, and that was it, I think. And then eventually it's 3 days later, Antman is well, he gets home just in time after the finale, and yeah, that is 3 days after, and the FBI had to take the thing off his leg, and he's now free. Unless they find out he was with Hope and Hank, then he's in a bit of trouble. But having said that, then you get to the after credit scene. If I talked about everything, I'm pretty. Oh yeah, by the way, in the chase scene, Hope throws a Hello Kitty thing at 2 motorcycle riders, right? And she enlarges it, of course, and it flies in. And the slow motion is so sick. One bike is just sliding on the floor, and it hits the other bike, and it's just really cool. It's like a proper like awesome double kill, and it was done really awesome in like slow motion. And yeah, I thought I just mentioned that. Anyway, as for the mid-credit scene. This was very interesting. Basically, Scott is sent into the quantum realm to, I guess, collect something. I don't know, but Janet, Hank, Hope, and Louise are outside, telling him what to do. Not Louise, he's just standing there, but they're all outside telling him what to do, and they do a countdown for him to come back to Earth from the realm. And then on like 1, they stop talking, they lose contact, and then it cuts, and then like Scott's like, very funny guys, come on, pull me up, no messing around. Then you get out, then you go back outside, and you see that they've all turned to dust. Everyone apart from Scott, everyone outside, not everyone, but the people outside, Janet, Hope, Hank, they've all turned to dust. They've all disappeared because of Thanos' snap. So obviously this happens at the same time as Infinity War. And that is just crazy. That is just crazy to see more deaths from Infinity War in another movie. While they've all disappeared, Scott is stuck in the quantum realm. No one's getting him out. So he'll be in Avengers 4. It will be interesting to see how he gets out of that realm and what happens. Because you see him, Hawkeye, Captain Marvel come in, all the remaining Avengers, all of the remaining Avengers, and Avengers 4 is looking to be very good. It's looking to be interesting. I cannot wait for that movie. It's out next May, I think, so really looking forward to it. As for the end credit scene, the second after credit scene, right at the end, it wasn't worth the wait. You wait about 10 minutes through all of those credits, and it's all for an ant playing drums. A giant ant in a house playing Scott's drums. You wait that long for that? You serious? Like, I remember the Spider-Man Homecoming one, where we're expecting something big, and then you just get Captain America saying, you waited so long for something so disappointing. But that was at least funny. They were taking the piss. But with this one, it was an ant playing drums. We waited so long for an ant playing drums. Are you serious? Unbelievable. Anyway, this was your boy Davidoff. He's like, by the way, as I said, the movie, it was fun, it was enjoyable, it just wasn't anything that special, wasn't anything great. Had some good moments though, and some good character moments, and it was light-hearted as well. It's interesting. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see ya.